Hey, thanks for stopping by, and welcome to my channel. Well, I'm going to look at a deck that I really have no idea what I'm about to see. I looked and I saw that the cards were ordered already, but I haven't opened up this box since, I would say probably a day after I purchased it, and I don't know when, 10 years ago maybe? A while ago anyway. And it's a deck by Le Scarabeo called The Tarot of the Pirates. So I think I'd like to have a look through. It sounds kind of intriguing, but there must have been something that was off-putting. Why I didn't, go any further with the deck. So it's a tuck box, so you see, you can probably read yourself. It says audacity, freedom, treasures, and the ocean. Well, that's good. Pirates and buccaneers, bold and proud, heroes and rascals. A deck that is fun, adventurous. Oh, look at this. As well as historically accurate. Wow. Let's see. Well, I don't know how many people dressed really like that. But anyway, oh, well, that doesn't look too historical. But let's have a look at the deck. So I see that the little white booklet is in here, so that's good. So let me open it up. Well, I did peek in and I saw the first number of cards. I didn't take the cards out of the box, but I saw they were in order, and I just assumed that all the other cards were in order and hope so. If not, I'll stop and do that and then reconnect. Okay, it's a couple of spacer cards. There's about the deck itself, I guess. This is the back. The backing is really nice. It has, of course, watery feel, ocean feel, but it's a very soft blue feel to it. And again, a promotional card. And yeah, typical of many of these booklets back then. I guess today too. It'll be multi-language. And so let me have a look. Oh, it says here, the suits of the minor arcana are the barrel of rum, the oars, the doubloons, and the cutlass. First corresponds to the suit of cups or chalices. Anyway, I didn't remember. Maybe that was it with me. The change in the titling. Anyway, so it's a typical a multi-language booklet, and I think there is a spread at the very beginning, right? No, maybe not. Or maybe at the very end. A lot of times they put like a Celtic cross or something, but there doesn't look to be. Anyway, it's let's put that back in the box along with this stuff. And let's have a look at the cards. So like I said, I don't know what I'm going to expect. It could be such that I just don't understand anything. And some decks do that to me where I guess I'm just not in the frame of mind for them at the time. But then, like anything else, it may not be your cup of tea back then, but a lot of times our cups of tea change over times, right? Yeah, but my cup of tea now is Metamucil. But what we like changes, and that's a good thing because that shows that we are growing. So now we have the Fool, and of course it has a number of English in the corner, and I guess whatever languages correspond to that book. So this is the Fool card. Oh, he's out, I guess. Doesn't know where he's going to end up, so that's sort of an idea of the Fool. That looks danger or something. Maybe that's also the animal. So the Fool. The Magician. He has his implements, the elements or symbols of the elements on his table in front of him. And not quite sure what is in his hand. I'm not quite sure what that symbol is. If it's a pentagram, then maybe not. And he has his protection as well. I think what I'm going to do is just put the cards down, take them up one by one so they don't. Yeah, so that's you can see how that has a lot of traditional imagery of the magician. So it'd be interesting to see as we go along to see if there's a story or a theme, throughout. So whether it's the head pirate guy and his court or something like that. So the magician, and this will be, of course, the high priestess. There's an association between the high priestess and tarot itself, and I guess tarot is wrapped into the high priestess, and you see that she's reading a fortune, so very mysterious. The Empress, very Queen Elizabeth I-ish, but I guess that's around this time because she reigned in the 1500s, I think, just to the early 1602 or something like that. And so this would be the time of pirates. So in fact, one of her favorites, Raleigh, really was considered a pirate by the people on the other side, the people that are getting their ships stolen. Anyway, so there's this is more austere and regimented or regulated mother, because this, to me, the Empress is the mothering, is the nurturing, it's the softness, we all have duality. It's that part of our nature, and of course it's expressed in our lives through our mothers, and but they never get it completely right, because they're just beings like us. So, and then we have the Emperor, more of the boss type, so he looks like he's the captain of that ship. That's certainly what an emperor is. His law, or whatever, or you hit the road. Yeah, it's a nice card though. The card size is standard for typical Los Scarabeo card decks, and I find that I like their card stock, and it's somewhat glossy, but not really super glossy for this deck anyway. And I think lately, Los Scarabeo, in the last number of years, I really love their decks. I love that they've taken the titles off and they just either use just the Roman numeral in the major arcana and just the number in a suit symbol, probably, in the pips, and without any writing on the cards. But I know that a lot of people that are learning it, and that makes it a little more difficult. But I always, it's personal preference again. I have many, many, many decks, and I read them all, the various systems, Marseille, even the Crowley's, of course, is a slightly different system, and then the RWS system. But if someone's going to read cards and they like to buy and collect them, I would say if you learn the RWS system, then you can read about maybe 75% of the cards right out of the box, right, without learning a new system, because all the other percentages are all their Marseille decks or Pip decks and stuff like that. But that's my feeling. I would say that people learn the RWS, even if you don't like the symbolism, or symbolism is dated, but the symbolism in that deck is important and well thought out by the magicians who the lady who drew the deck. She was a magician from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, so they knew what they were doing when they were drawing the various aspects of these cards. Well, at least they thought they knew what they were doing. There was a lot of arrogancy with them as well. So this is the Pope, or the Hierophant, the priest card, and it's a very traditional looking card. I find that this is in my readings a lot, or it's usually indicates institutions. It can be a priest, but a lot of times it can also be someone that you're going to learn something from. It's a teacher. And this is the Lover's card. I'm not sure what that guy back there is doing. Let's have a look, see if we can get closer. First I thought he's going to shoot them. That's a crossbow. So, and he doesn't look like Cupid. And that doesn't look like figurative arrows. They look real. So that looks interesting. Yeah, you can see where you can delve meanings from that, you know. Lovers, to me, the card is a card of finding something that is a completion for you. And it's, you know, and it's not necessarily a person. It can be, you love the job, I'm well suited, it's just me. You know, like it's that type of interaction. And then other systems have it that the Lover's card is more of a choice card between either two individuals or two ways, or the choice to leave your, you know, the confines of your mother and go for the younger. You know, there's a lot of, you know, suggestions on the card. So now we have here that there's danger here. So this is maybe a dangerous choice. Dangerous liaison. And this is the image that was on the box. The chariot. On the box it looked very dark, didn't it? Yeah. And well, the symbolism is very. Two turtles, two different colored turtles. The symbolism is very similar to RWS decks, where you're. A lot of people don't like seeing them hold the reins, right? Because it's really a mental control thing, but that's nice. I like that. Otherwise, it looks like he was surfing if he was just standing up there, and that would be fun, I'm sure. So far, I'm not disliking the deck, so I don't know about you guys. And okay, so Justice is 8, and it's not 11, so we'll expect Strength as 11. So it looks like this man has been whipped. It's you know, and then probably by the justice system, I guess. So like I said, this to me, justice is getting what you deserve. You know, welcome to the real world, folks. And sometimes you attract, you know, what you get. So so that's an interesting take with the judge there. After he's been whipped, he's going to probably sentence him to hang, because they did that to pirates. And then we have the Hermit. Well, they often did this too, right? They would strand a person on an island and leave them some rum and a little bit of rations. Some of them survived a while and were able to attract ships, you know, sailing close by, but a lot of times I guess they just were never heard from again. So we don't know how long they would survive. But, you know, the solitude, and in solitude you learn. So you can meditate a lot in solitude. And Hermit is a good stage, inward focus. And the Wheel of Fortune. That's a pretty card too. I'm not sure. I guess that's Fortuna, maybe. And I don't know. Well, we don't turn this. You know, we only experience the result of the turning of the wheel. So having his hand on the wheel was kind of unfortunate, I think. Strength. And so instead of a lion, it looks like a crocodile or alligator. You can tell the difference by the snout, but that looks like an alligator then. Typical meanings. You see that? The Hangman. Now, anyone who's looked at my other videos knows that when I look at the Hangman card, I always like to see the expression on the face. And so, wow, that's quite different from the other decks, isn't it? He's in terror, of course. And so this is definitely a punishment. This is not a card by the image. Now, traditionally, when I read the Hangman, I usually don't use decks that have people in physical torment on it, but it's an idea of patience as well. There's an energy of patience in the card, give and sacrifice as well. Looking at something from a different way. Come on, look, put your inner lights on. But when it's this way, it's more of the traditional European way of, they did that to traders, hang them off, bridges and stuff by 1 foot. And of course the pirates did that. They would draw and kill you. So what they would do, and they would draw you under the boat, and then up the other side, and then back again. Isn't that awful? And death. So, I guess, I don't know. Is this historically accurate? I like when people put things like that on their, in their advertising. But this is nice. Whoever the artist did, I like their style. I like the way that they make it very, I wouldn't say 3D, but the figures and things have a lot of roundness to them and a lot of depth. Like I said, when I first started with tarot, not when I first started, because that was like 50 or so years ago, but in the last, I forgot to turn that off. Sorry about that. Just a sec, let me do that so it just doesn't. So in the last